And we learned the identities just moments ago from New Hampshire Attorney General's office. We learned Muni Savyon, 54 years old. He was the gunman. He had supervised visitation here this morning with his 9-year-old son, Joshua Savyon. Mr. Savyon, according to authorities, he walked in, he shot his son multiple times, and then himself, the counselor who was inside with him at the time, was able to escape unharmed, but witnessed a horrifying scene. A chaotic scene near downtown Manchester.
Cops going in and out of the house with their guns drawn and everything.
As officials tried to flush out a gunman.
The initial report came in shortly after 10 o'clock that there was a gunman inside the building and that shots had been fired.
And then the word came that the shooter and a young boy inside this YWCA were dead.
Unfortunately, we did locate 2 individuals inside that were deceased.
He loved his son dearly, apparently. So we thought.
Rabbi Levi Krinsky says the shooter was a member of his synagogue in Manchester, an Israeli-born man who seemed to love his young boy. But Krinsky says he had taken a turn for the worse.
He just lost his younger brother in Israel to a sudden heart attack in the middle of the night. And when I saw him when he came back, he was clearly not himself.
This morning, according to Krinsky, the shooter sent an email to a friend saying he was about to kill his son and himself. Minutes later, he parked his car, walked into the YWCA, shot the boy, and then turned the gun on himself.
Apparently, he was suffering. He was suffering a great deal. Never do you expect that they would take it to this degree.
Residents were immediately evacuated from the building. Several city blocks were roped off. And when the news broke about what had happened inside this building, horror from this community.
Why would someone hurt an innocent child that still had his whole life ahead of him?
According to authorities, Savyon had been separated from his wife a couple of years ago. He had threatened violence in the past against both her and against Joshua. We also know that he was heavily involved in politics here in the Manchester area. He had run for alderman of the city in the past, as well as state representative. Live in Manchester, New Hampshire, I'm Liam Martin, WCVB News Center 5.